I would say on average, hear me out. I would say on average, certainly 1 out of 3 people that I speak with on the phone, one of the questions that I ask them is, does your spouse know we're on the call? And what do you think their answer is? Both men or women, over 40, 45, whatever, that have spouses, have families. And you know what they say to me? 1 in every 3, right? Sometimes 1 to 2 is they say, no, they do not. And I'm like, well, what would your husband or wife think by speaking to me? Some of them get really, you could tell, they kind of take a pause. They're kind of like, well, they know not happy, and, they know that I'm overweight, but yet you can tell. And what I mean by that is, and how I ask the next follow-up question is like, why is that? Why doesn't your spouse or your family, even if you have kids young or old, why don't they know how much it's impacting you? That you really feel so hard on yourself, that you don't have self-care time, that you're so stressed over not being able to take time for yourself, that the fear of your health, right? The confidence issues, the stress that you are under, yet you're trying to make everyone happy, your kids, your spouse. And again, I've heard this from men and women, right? So that tells you something right there, that many people, when they talk about their health goals, fitness goals, many people keep it into themselves, not even telling their spouse. Now, their spouse knows that, hey, she's overweight or he's overweight. Look, geez, my God, ever since he turned 35, look at the beer belly on him. Or, my God, ever since she had our last kid, our second kid, they might think that. But for many kids even, they don't know how valued you want to change your life. They don't know really how much of a priority it is. You don't want to bring it up because you feel, I'm talking about myself. Right? Here we go again with people thinking about, they got to think of others before they think of themselves. So this whole concept of keeping it to yourself, trying to do the journey by yourself, is one thing that never gets talked. You tell me how many times you've heard a video, okay, that has spoke about that. The very fact that people go, not only set goals, but they also just kind of go about the process thinking they got it. And they don't even kind of share with their spouse their deepest, darkest secrets. I hear, especially clients that I end up building relationships with, I would argue that I hear pretty much their girlfriend or their guy friend, maybe their GP, all depends, and me, in terms of what they're sharing with me, okay? Because they need to get it out. And yet, for some reason, people feel really scared or vulnerable or anxious to speak to their spouse about, man, I'm not happy. Because, of course, if you say you're not happy, what does that mean? The spouse gets all up in arms like, what do you mean you're not happy? Right? That means, you know what I mean? I'm keeping you happy. See what I'm saying? So we keep everything in ourselves. And when it comes to your health and fitness, man, it's sad in my mind. It's sad that people get really anxious. Like, and I mean, I shouldn't say real, like I got to use a word that is like super, I don't even know the word. Okay. I don't. That they feel stumbled. They feel completely, like the other word is stuck, I guess, but completely suffocated. Maybe there you go. With the feeling that in order for them to get from, say, point A, maybe even like point C, feels like they're climbing Mount Everest. And so when someone says, I've got a goal, Ryan, I'm like, well, why is that? And really what's holding you back? That's when sometimes you really start to hear these things that they may not even have thought themselves. So when you go on a health journey, like you need support. You need support from your friends, ideally your spouse, your family. Like your family should know, hey guys, it's Thursday at almost 9 o'clock. Okay, sorry for starting a few minutes later there. Kids got me all a little bit longer than I planned. But until they kind of know, like, hey, it's 6 a.m., it's mommy time if they're not up yet, or they're up. Or it's now 7:30 in the evening. Spouse, you take care of the kids. I'm gone downstairs and I'm going to get my workout in, right? Or I'm going to go for just a little meditation, whatever. Like the family needs to know the structure and the dynamic so that everyone is kind of like, you know what? We're getting it now. It's a routine, okay? Because we all know with kids especially, it's so hard to kind of plan for things and they don't get it anyways. Your spouse needs to know, your significant others, whoever, your closest, family and I guess friend groups, coworkers potentially. But you cannot go in this by yourself thinking you got it. Because you know what? If you've been watching me from the get-go or from many, 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 many months, okay, you know that absolutely rips hell inside of you, that the very fact that you can't manage your shit on your own. Am I wrong in saying that? Yes or no? Am I wrong in saying that you feel so hard on yourself that you can't manage your own fitness shit? When you think about it, it should be something that we should be able to lock in, right? Shouldn't we? Like, it's fitness, right? It's your own body. It's your own health. You seem to have your kids semi locked in. You seem to have your career locked in. You seem to have your relationships locked in. But man, it comes to your health and fitness, and you are just out to lunch. And I get that. I really do. And so it's eating you up inside. But yet, the minute you want to share something with somebody, it's kind of like, you're right. You don't want to. You want to hide. I don't want to tell my even, like, many spouses don't know each other's fitness goals. All they think is, yeah, she would like, or he would like to lose 5 pounds. She would like to lose 10 pounds. They think it's a pounds thing. They have no fucking idea what the pounds actually means for somebody. Can I get a hell yeah with that? Because again, the pounds is just what me, if I'm looking at my spouse, of course, all I'm seeing is the physical aspect. But what's going on up here, okay, is obviously the real telltale sign. And those that are struggling in their 20s, in their 30s, obviously now in their 40s, if you're someone that has fought your weight and health, now you're on medication, now you have a lot of joint pain, you're like 40, but you just feel like 60 or 55, how does that make you fucking feel? Makes you feel really shitty, right? But I think it comes back down to, again, you don't have the right support. One, the support that's actually guiding you in the way that you should, and not like, come here, little child. I've got a little concoction of eye of newt and a little bit of herbal this and a little bit of detox that, right? Like, that's masking stuff. That's just kind of be like, you take this and all your magic comes and whatever. That's BS, folks. It's fucking BS. Like, it just is, right? You know it. It's a waste of money. And what happens when you come off it? Plus, you don't have the right support. Because when you needed somebody the most, where is that person? Right? You tend to hold it all in. So, as a way of wrapping it all, when it comes to, okay, maybe you do have a good amount of support system, or your support system is just not what you think it should be, well, then that's where, ideally, just as much if you're a business owner and you want a business mentor or a coach, you're an executive and you want an executive coach. If you're a child, you need to have special needs or some sort of teacher or a tutor to get you going through that. If you're struggling in relationships, you have a relationship coach. If you struggle with your psychology or mental health, you obviously speak to obviously a psychology who is a mental coach, really. So a mechanic is a car coach, right? An accountant is a, finance coach or a financial advisor. So it's funny that everyone might be like, well, yeah, he's a coach. Like, pretty much anything that you probably value in your life, you choose to make sure you're getting advice from a professional. And you don't mind, obviously, maybe paying that professional for their expertise because they're going to guide you in the right direction.